Hello everyone and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn, which is organised by the North Cumbria Integrated Care Trust and CLIC, the Cumbria Health and Social Care Learning and Improvement Collaborative. It's good to see you all here today. My name is Richard Lorry and I'm Deputy Head of Knowledge and Library Services at NCIC, and it's my great pleasure today to welcome Mark Costello, who is the Playlist for Life local organizer and who is giving our Lunch and Learn session today on Playlist for Life, music and dementia. The idea of these Lunch and Learns is that they're a relaxed, informal space for health and care staff to come together to share experiences, learn something new relating to health and care, focus on quality improvement, be signposted to further resources, all of course whilst enjoying your lunch. There are some protocols just for the session. If you can keep your webcams off unless invited, otherwise, and also please keep on mute just so we don't have any interference. We will be monitoring chat during the session, which you can use for any questions or issues or spontaneous contributions. However, we will have questions at the end, so there will be that opportunity there if you'd like to ask anything, and the Mark will have the chance to respond there. And obviously we're very keen that you take anything you learned today and do spread the word to colleagues and anybody else you know who it might be useful for. Just to let you know finally that we are recording this session, so if you be aware of that also. And finally, just one plea, there is a survey that we'll post in the chat just about these sessions, just on this session itself, but also if you've got any ideas, any topics, any speakers that you'd like to see included by us at any point, please do use that survey, which is very short, just to do that. So now I think that's got all the business out of the way, and without further ado, I'll hand over to Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Yep. Okay, so here we go. Just go to the first slide. Yep. So it must have been some time ago now. Perhaps it was in May that Amy got in contact with me, and at that time I was the local organizer, as it said on the introduction, for Playlist for Life for the Cumbria area, and that was from July 2021 until July 2022, and I had two outstanding opportunities to speak to groups. One which I did on Saturday to a faith-based organisation, Anna's Chaplaincy, who work with older people and go into hospitals and deal with end-of-life care and dementia. And the second was this today. So both were agreed some time ago, but as a volunteer with Playlist for Life going forward, I agreed to do this. So that's where it all came from. So it's a bit strange that Pam's here as well, but she'll be a great addition to today because she can add some up-to-date information to what I've got to say. Playlist for Life is quite a simple message, really. It's a charity that's been in existence for up to 10 years and looks at identifying how we can connect through music, and specifically the sort of transformational aspect that music plays with people with memory loss and dementia. So as the mission says there, it's about connecting people through the power of personalised music. And what's been found out is that personalised music, creating personalised playlists, has really helped people with memory loss and with dementia to reconnect with their loved ones. And as we go through, we'll just say some more about that. So the aim of the charity has been around encouraging everyone to harness the power of music. That music and creating personalised playlists is in everyone's gift, and that we can help people, loved ones, family members and others who have got memory loss and dementia to be able to connect back with us for some small moments of time when music gets from a player into a person's ears. So if we just go on to the next slide, please. So in the top left-hand corner there is Mamie Magnuson, who people of a certain vintage will know. She was married to Magnus Magnusson, who was a host of Mastermind for many years. In the bottom left-hand corner is Mamie as a young woman, and on the right are her daughters at the top, and then Sally Magnuson, the broadcaster, who's in the bottom right-hand corner. And the charity was formed by Sally Magnuson, and it was formed out of her experiences of dealing with a mother and a mother's memory loss and dementia. Sally found that the introduction of music and singing in certain stressful situations provided quite a lot of calm and reassurance to a mother. So when a mother had to go out for appointments, or perhaps bedtime or bath time, some stressful moments, that singing together really provided a great calming effect. Sally talks a lot about some of the music that they shared. So it was the music that Mamie herself would perhaps sing to her daughters when they were young, some lullabies, some music, Scottish heritage music, and some pop songs as well. So together, by singing together and by having this personalised aspect of music between them, Sally discovered, this kind of effects that music could have in terms of calming a mother down, making her more readily accessible to engage with activities that she might have previously found stressful. And in finding out about that, she wanted to go further and look at the actual effects of creating personalised playlists and to spread that message across the country. So she started the charity Playlist for Life. So just go on to the next slide, please. When I was employed with Playlist for Life, one of the reasons for employment was to raise awareness of the charity and of the benefits of creating personalised playlists. So there's a number of us really that were able to spread the word as far as possible around our areas. And I was the person who was engaged to work with organisations and community groups and others across Cumbria to raise the awareness of what is quite a simple message, that everybody has the opportunity to create these personalised playlists. And one of the things that that the charity does is create some really good resources that will enable people to actually start thinking about creating playlists and looking at how they can get music from one place into the ears of a loved one. And in one of the booklets, which is called Create the Soundtrack of Your Life, it talks about the power of music and asks, have you ever heard a piece of music and been taken back to a particular moment in your life? Or have you listened to the radio and heard a song that reminds you of a special person? And that's the kind of the simplified ideology behind Playlist for Life, is that we can all reconnect with music from our past. And we'll all probably have memories when particular songs are either played on the radio or we hear jingles or songs from children's TV programmes. It also says about the power of music that listening to music that is personal to you can help calm an anxious mind, bring cheer when you're feeling low, and can even make work and time pass more quickly. I think again we can all sort of accept those things, that there'll be music that plays that does make us feel more calm. There'll be music that plays that really brings cheer to us and brings back some good memories. And certainly for me, as someone that started my life working in factories, I can certainly agree with the fact that having music on at work seemed to make time go faster, and working in a quieter office for me is always a bit of a drag. So music's very important on all those levels. And then finally, it goes on to mention that music is neurologically special because it stimulates many parts of the brain at once. This means that even if parts of the brain that are damaged, music can still reach other parts. So again, talking about the kind of transformational aspect of music, helping not only with memory and memory recall, but also with rediscovering abilities and motor skills as well. So the idea is about raising awareness about taking that out to communities, and about providing places within the communities, help points, where information could be stored and where organisations could use the resources that have been created to help people that are coming into their services and settings as well. So we'll go on to the next slide, please. So the final thing that I'd said there was about music as neurologically special because it stimulates many parts of the brain. And that's what that particular diagram is highlighting and identifying there, you know, that certain aspects of how we exist or behave or what our brain controls can be quite unique elements. But with music, it sets off mini explosions right across the brain. And there are many parts of the brains that respond to music. And that's why this thing about creating personalized playlists is really important, because it does help people identify soundtracks of particular times that are also relevant to people's memories, but also personality as well. So that ability to reconnect people through music and through that soundtrack of particular times and memories is one that is amazing, really, I suppose you'd have to say. And there is a video later on that I've provided a link to, which shows a couple who are reconnecting through that music and the amazing emotions, you know, that come out of that reconnection between two people. That, for one, a person who has got memory loss and dementia, the other feels that they have lost over time. So that ability to reconnect and see each other through each other's eyes again is, you know, quite an emotional experience. But if we go on to the next slide, please. Not sure what that is, but so one of the main aims of the charity itself is to highlight the benefits of people living with dementia and how music can play a real role in those benefits. And what's been found out over a period of time is that creating these personalised playlists can help people connect and reunite families. I think one of the quotes that Sally Magnuson gave was that a mother felt that she was on a pathway and getting further and further away from herself, and that was her experience of memory loss and dementia. But music was a way of bringing her back, you know, bringing her back to a place where she'd previously been. So that thing about recalling memories or abilities, restoring a sense of self, helping manage moods, and ultimately reducing the need of drugs. So using music and personalised playlists in medical settings and enabling people to rediscover themselves or be provided with an opportunity to manage moods without that need for drugs. So again, if we just move on, please. So one of the other things that Playlists for Life was stressing was our need to become music detectives, to have investigative skills in putting together playlists. And this might be because we don't always know everything about the person that we're providing playlists for. You know, I know some of the favourite songs of my mum and dad, but they had a life well before I was born. They might have had relationships well before they got married themselves, you know, so there's all kinds of things within their past that I'll be unaware of. And in being able to identify what their personalised playlists are, then we need to adopt these investigative skills. And one of the things that scientists have identified is something called a memory bump. And this is the idea that many of our memories are formed in this 10 or 30 year period, so between the ages of 10 and 30. And if you think about it, we're going through a lot of change in that time. So you're going from childhood to adulthood, leaving school, going to college, getting a job for the first time, you know, going from short trousers to long trousers, having relationships, getting married, having children. So, you know, there's so many things that are actually happening in that time, and so many memories that are being formed in that period. So one of the useful things that is in one of the resources is looking at the memory bump and working out your own memory bump to begin to identify a long list of songs and music from that. So giving away my age, my birth year was 1969. So if I add 10 to that, it's 1979. And then if I add 30 to 1969, it's 1999. So my memory bump years will be between 1979 and 1999. And fortuitously, I bought my first record in 1979, and that was Paul McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time. So that takes me back to the beginnings of, I suppose, my memories as a music buyer. But of course, we also have inheritance tracks, music that we take from our parents, grandparents, other people around us. And as I said previously, I know some of the favourite songs of my mum and dad, and some of those songs were introduced to me as a young person. And we all have those inheritance tracks, that broader range of music that provides us with music connections to other people in our family and around us. And then finally, we may also have identity tracks, you know, things to do with our faith, our culture, our social background, where we come from, you know, where we live. And so, you know, I'm from Cumbria at the moment. I don't think Cumbria has an awful lot of identity tracks. With John Peel, I think, is one local ballad, but certainly across the border in Scotland, there are a number of cultural tracks. And again, you know, some of the things that Mamie and Sally shared were uniquely Scottish as well. So if we just move on to the next slide. So as I said before, you know, the message being spread and the awareness raising was one part of the project. The other was to provide helpful and useful resources. And when you obviously sit down with individuals and start thinking about producing personalised playlists, it's not always an easy thing to begin to do. So resources have been produced, such as conversation starters, identifying, you know, some childhood music associated to childhood memories or holidays or an exciting time in life, are all opportunities just to begin to start conversations about music, play music, look for responses that are generated as part of playing that music, and beginning to then identify this long list of songs that can be used to generate a personalised playlist. So if we move on again. And then I'm just going to say, just move on one more time. So this is the example of the conversation starter, and these are the physical resources that we actually provide to help points. So each help point would get a page of conversation starters. They would get booklets, Create the Soundtrack of Your Life, which goes through a number of pages looking at things like special memories, memory bumps, music from a person's childhood, or inheritance tracks. And of course, all these resources are translated into a number of different languages, so that different cultural groups can actually engage with creating personalised playlists for their communities as well. So if we continue on. So you know, one of the great things I think about Playlists for Life is that it's an opportunity to do something with family and friends, and to think about music that a person has an interest in or is connected to memories. It's a little bit like genealogy, or, you know, tracing your family tree back, really, because you're delving into the history of a person that you may know about, or there might be other things that you're unaware of. So it's reconnecting on lots of different levels. But if you're a person that likes to talk about music and likes to see the response that particular music brings back to someone, then it's a great opportunity for people to reconnect in that way. And of course, making a playlist really demands that you, as I said previously, use these investigative skills. So it might be about asking friends and family. It might be about making a long list and using lists for different circumstances and uses. So some music, to calm a person down. Other music, maybe to provide a different form of stimulus. And listening together, having that opportunity just to sit and listen to the music and perhaps be reminded of memories together. And as I said before, to see the responses in a person's eyes is it's a magical moment. But also to recognise as well that not all music might have positive effects on a person, and that there might be some songs that maybe bring back memories of sadness or loss or abandonment or other things, and that we need to be wary of these when we're creating these personalised playlists. So next one, please. So the benefits, as we said previously, is it around family carers experience a sense of renewed closeness and connection with their loved ones, helping to relieve their stress and improve their well-being. So having those reconnections between people, and as I said, some of the resources that Playlist for Life produce in terms of videos really demonstrate the amazing effects of two people reconnecting through music, and are quite inspirational, really. So I would advise anybody who's interested in finding out more to go on the either Playlist for Life website, or Playlist for Life also has a YouTube channel which has some of these terrific little films on there, which as I said, really inspirational. So we'll continue on. One of the roles that I had when I was working with Playlist for Life was to help provide help points, and those are places that are open to any members of the public to be provided with information. So in Cumbria, for instance, the library service signed up all 60 of their libraries, I think they were, to be help points. So those are places right across the county where information can be stored and updated information can be retrieved. So the Create the Soundtrack of Your Life little booklets, the conversation starters and other leaflets are in there, but also some organisations that were help points as well. Maybe run dementia cafes, sessions for people with memory loss in the library setting, and again are able to use the resources alongside some of that have been created. Some of the other organisations have been community centres. So in Carlisle, most of the community centres signed up, and they are places where you can get the information. And then we also had, I think it's the Ellen ward at the Cumberland Infirmary, who also signed up as a help point, but also was had a particular interest in introducing the concept of Playlist for Life on the hospital ward. So working with people with memory loss and dementia directly, and using it as an opportunity to create real sort of benefit for those individuals that they're caring for. So if we go on to the next one, please. On the website, there's lots of different resources. You get onto the website playlistforlife.org.uk. As I say, you can join us an information point, a help point. You can get involved with becoming volunteers. That's training that takes place, regular training that takes place. Well, I think Pam will maybe be able to update us on exactly what's going on after I stop speaking. But really, opportunity just to engage with the charity and all the resources that are available, and to take all that and use them within your own settings with the people that you might be working with or family members. So a whole host of resources and information that's available on that website. And as I said, the YouTube channel as well, with all those videos of that are there to really inspire you and that you can also learn from. So we just go on to the next one. Right, so that was a video. Now I don't know whether we've got enough time to watch it, or even if that video would come up, but I put it in as a link, and that is probably one of the most inspirational videos that you're ever going to see about a couple called Harry and Margaret, which is on YouTube, and it shows the incredible benefit that bringing music into someone's ears in that situation of memory loss and dementia provides, and is incredibly emotional, uplifting and inspirational. So yeah, we might not be able to see it now, but I would advise people to spend some time. It's about 6 minutes long to look at it in the future. So we'll go on. Oh, that's it. Right. Well, that's it. I mustn't have put a final page on, but it had a link on previously around the Playlist for Life website, and that's where all the information can be found. So thanks very much.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much for Mark. That was very interesting. I think it's kind of something that really resonates as well, actually, because I think it's something we can all connect with. Because you do hear a piece of music and it does just take you back, and so it's something that really relates to that. I have seen in other places, not only music, but they also sort of recommend sort of almost kind of taking people, say with dementia, into kind of sort of the environment that they used to grow up in, because kind of the whole decor and that sort of thing. Have you sort of engaged with that at all?
Well, in my current job,
oh, right.
I currently work for Carlisle Site Support, Carlisle Society for the Blind, and a number of people that come in that have got low vision, they themselves or maybe other family members have got dementia or beginning to start with dementia. So yeah, we see that locally, and there's actually a number of organisations that are increasingly trying to create those environments. So in some of the extra care settings, often places are laid out in a particular way that provides people with experience of the past. And at the moment, I'm actually working with a community centre in Carlisle who want to create a sort of dementia-friendly garden, but also want to integrate memories from the past sort of 40 years. And there's audio. We've got some audio from people talking about the centre, being at the centre, growing up within it. Images from the past. So all the kind of sensory things, really. So images, audio, touch. The opportunities to even smell things sometimes. People that have worked in breweries, taking them back to places where they can smell the hops. To stimulate their memories. So all that kind of things is going on. Yeah, and it's all amazing stuff. It's all brilliant stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's very true, actually, because we've just got a comment from Jane here who says that she can advocate this, and it's great work you're doing, because her father doesn't remember her or recognize lyrics, but he always sort of gets excited and responds to the music is played, and will kind of happily, Jane says, ring bells and tambourines for hours. So there is that very real connection, and thank you for that, Jane. I've got a question from Sheila as well. Again, thanking you for the presentation. She just wondered if you've sort of engaged with or raised awareness of this with kind of healthcare professionals, sort of occupational therapists or care workers.
Yeah, well, me personally, in Cumbria, I did some sessions earlier in the year. One was with the nursing staff from the Elam ward, I think it's called, at the Cumberland Infirmary. The other was with, I think they were occupational therapists, particularly working with people with memory loss, who were based at Carlton Clinic, I believe, in Carlisle.
Oh yes, yeah.
So we did a session with them, and then some other people that work in GP practices as well. So a bit of a cross of individuals within that sort of time frame that we did work with. But of course, I mean, the main focus was always about raising awareness and encouraging people to use the to use the resources as effectively as they can.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thanks, Mark. And yeah, Gemma Barton's just put a comment in. Thank you for the presentation. It's very valuable work, which I think is a very good point and very true as well. So, well, thanks for that, Mark. We're just running up to the end of our time now. So I think we're sort of just on the edge of a time there, so we'll draw it to a close. But we are just putting a feedback survey in for anybody if they have any thoughts for future topics or speakers they'd like. Our next session, we haven't confirmed the details yet, so I can't say too much more at the moment, but it is on the 20th of October. If anybody could keep an eye out for that, further details will come. So I think just on that note, I just want to say finally thank Mark again for that. It was a very interesting and, as everybody said, very worthwhile. So thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much. Yep. Bye-bye.